Hello, I'm Adam Liaw and welcome to The Cook Up, the show where when the chips are down, we cook them. On tonight's menu, miso glazed duck with fried eggplant, yak gochujang with bibimbap, and a Ukrainian borscht with pork ribs and dill sour cream. Let's say hi to our guests. Jungun Che is the chef behind Victoria's renowned Che restaurant, showcasing a side of Korean cuisine that isn't well known in Australia. I think fermenting and preserving as well as making gochujang, soy sauce and makgeolli from scratch. Hello, Che.
Hello.
Great to have you here. I'm so excited. Yevgen Klopotenko is the winner of MasterChef Ukraine Series 5. He's a chef, restaurateur and cookbook author who's working towards changing the food systems in Ukraine. Welcome, Yevgen.
Hey, hi. Hi, nice to meet you.
It is fantastic to have you here, Yevgen. What brings you to Australia?
I'm here trying to promote Ukrainian cuisine, and what I'm doing, I'm doing the charity dinners. So I will have 3 charity dinners where I'm collecting money for the Ukrainian people who is suffering from the war. That's what actually I'm doing. So I'm giving the people food, and I'm giving the Ukrainian culture, giving Ukrainian cuisine, and collecting money. So I have to help my country. So that's what I'm doing.
It's fabulous. It's an absolutely terrible situation there.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here. And
Thank you for inviting.
Thank you. Shay, Korean food, most people will know like barbecue and stuff like that.
Yes.
When I look at what you do at your restaurant, it's like paradise. It's the most soulful kind of slow food. Why do you do?
I want to show the people what is the soul of the Korean cuisine.
Well, I think you do a very good job of it.
To Australian audience.
Tonight is a tribute to the greatest culture in the world. Food culture. I'm talking fermented foods, ingredients, that kind of thing. Shay, fermented foods are kind of the heart and soul of Korean cooking, would you say?
Yes.
I mean, the national dish is kimchi, is it?
Kimchi.
Do you call that national dish kind of thing?
I think kimchi is the national food.
And it's been made in Korea for thousands of years.
I think more than that.
Oh.
Yevgen, Ukrainian cuisine, tell me a bit about it, because a lot of people, I guess, might not be so familiar with it.
Yeah, I think that nobody knows about this because we were under USSR for 100 years, and before that we were suffering from the Russia for the 300 years more, and Ukrainian cuisine was hidden from the people, and now it's time to be shown to the world. That's the uniqueness of Ukrainian cuisine. It's that we were saving that in a family. So each family was saving this recipe and giving to the family, but nobody knew about this. We had no books, nothing, because if we were speaking about some product, Russian people came to us and took it back. So it's like the huge problem was in Ukraine, and only now for the last 10 years we start to reveal what is that Ukrainian cuisine. So Ukrainian cuisine is about products, and I will speak about them today, and I will try to show and to the world, and also in Ukraine we do a lot of fermentation, but nobody knows about this.
I'm excited to find out more about it.
Yeah.
But first, I'm going to make a miso glazed duck breast with fried eggplant. All right, bit of, I don't know, I'm not going to say modern. Whenever you're talking about fermentation, you are always talking about techniques that are hundreds, if not thousands of years old. The fermented ingredient I'm using is, I'm going to use a bit of pickles, but also some miso. In Korea, miso is like
Doenjang.
doenjang.
Yes.
Is there lots of different varieties of that?
Depends on where you're from. So all different style of fermentation skill.
So I'm making essentially what is called a dengaku miso. It's a sort of a miso. In Australia, we always say miso glaze, but dengaku is sort of a style where miso is mixed with a few other things, particularly sugar, to make it into a sort of sweet and savoury glaze.
Okay.
You made a noise, like it was almost like you didn't approve or something.
Sorry.
Sugar miso, no.
So I'm just going to take some eggplant, salt that, and I'm going to leave that for 15, 20 minutes or so to remove some of the moisture. People say you salt eggplant to remove the bitterness. I don't think you need to do that at all.
Me either, yeah.
Thank you. So what I am salting this for is to remove some of the moisture, because I'm going to deep fry it, otherwise, you know. I've patted this quite dry, otherwise it can spit a little bit, so. Shay, how did you learn how to do all the fermentation?
I learned from my mom and grandma.
Right.
So my mom is from the big family, and she was the first daughter. And she had to make so much kimchi every year, so I'm only her child.
Oh,
so
right.
I didn't have many options, so I had to help since I was a kid.
The way I'm going to cook the duck is just in a pan, no scoring, no oil, no nothing, just cold pan, a little bit of heat, and the duck will just render like that for 15 minutes or so. Very, very simple way of cooking duck. Now for my dengaku, this was apparently like the favorite dish of Oda Nobunaga, who was like, I don't know if he was not the emperor, but like the shogun or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But in here, I'm going to put miso. I'm using red miso from Nagoya, where Oda Nobunaga was from. I'm going to use some brown sugar today, some sake, mirin. So I'm just going to cook that, stir it around until it boils and becomes shiny and glossy. Yeah, again, I think food diplomacy is really important. Why do you think it's important?
I think that the gastronomy diplomacy is the one of the soft diplomacy and the best diplomacy in the world, because you can eat and you can discover the country. You know, for example, when you travel somewhere, what you want to know in the country, you know, to know the language, you know, to understand the lifestyle, and you want to understand what people are eating. So it's the best way.
Absolutely. It tastes good. You get a nice kind of feeling, but then also you don't need to speak Ukrainian. You don't need to, understand everything about the culture, the nuances, but I can experience Ukrainian food in the same way as you do by eating Ukrainian food that you cook for me.
Yeah.
And I plan to do that today, by the way.
I hope.
Shay, do you think that when people come to your restaurant, they're learning a lot about Korean culture as well as having a nice meal?
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to introduce what is real Korean sake called Celjo.
Yes.
Because no one know about Celjo at all. Everybody knew about Japanese sake.
Yes.
It's so true. Like in Australia, we love certain things and we love Japanese food a lot, and I do too, which is fine. But sometimes when you hear Chinese food being described in Japanese terms or Korean food, it must happen so much.
Yeah.
It's all a little bit strange. So I'm just going to squeeze the juice of the ginger in there.
Nice life hack.
Yeah.
I never did it.
So I just want this to be just a little bit glossy, and I might reduce it down just a touch until the sugar is cooked. But essentially, I want to be able to sort of brush it onto the duck.
Yeah.
Or pour it over the duck, All right, that's looking good. Eggplant is looking good. Duck is looking good. It's all coming together. I'm just going to start to get ready with a few chives, literally just for color. Yeah, again, there is a fermented drink in Ukraine. What's it called?
Kvass.
Kvass.
Yes.
And it's made from bread, is that right?
It's just like normally leftovers of the rye bread.
Yeah.
And you just like taking 1 kilo of this bread, for example. You're taking like 10 grams of the yeast, like 100 grams of the sugar. You leave it for the 3 days. Boom.
Wow.
You strain it and you have the bubbling bread drink.
Sort of a little fizzy bread drink.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Is it sweet?
Normally it's like a medium sweet, but if you will put a lot more sugar, it's going to be more sweeter.
Oh, okay. I think sometimes, it must be just slightly alcoholic as well, right?
Yeah, but sometimes you can do it not slightly.
Okay.
If you're professional, you can do it a bit like a cognac,
Oh, right.
But normally it's just 1 or 2% of alcohol. It's like ginger beer,
All right. So I've got my duck breasts. Those are going to take a little bit while, so I got a little bit of time. So I've done a bit ahead. Now I just want to brush it with some of this glaze. I didn't want to cook the glaze on the duck because when you're adding this much sugar, it can really burn, and I want to make sure the duck is cooked well rather than sort of burning on. So I'm just going to brush it on the top, and then I'll put a bit underneath when I serve it as well. All right, getting there. Eggplant is looking nice and crisp. I love doing this with eggplant. It's almost like chips, like French fries, but also once it's fried like this, you can put it into curries and things, and it just adds the most delicious texture. So it's kind of like the duck is almost not necessary, because I think when people eat this, the thing that they'll like the most is the eggplant and the miso together. I'll just slice a little bit of duck here. Nicely cooked, I think. Extra of that just for the bottom of the plate. And I'll move the duck up there. Then my eggplant. I don't need to salt this again, really, because we salted it before. But just I want to be generous with this because I think you guys are going to like that the best.
Oh, yeah.
A few slices of pickles to balance out some of the sweetness. A pile of chili to the side. I could scatter that over the top of, but you know, sometimes I get confused about these things. I just put some chives in there so it looks green. Miso glazed duck breast with fried eggplant. I think the thing with fermented foods is fermentation gives you that umami, that savory taste that we all kind of love.
It's so simple, yeah, and so so good. I would like different taste in one. I like it.
I could just eat fried eggplant all day though.
You're just cooking the duck for the
Yeah.
but the real dish
The
is
real dish is
eggplant.
a fried eggplant.
Yeah. We're not using much of spices in Ukraine like this, and when you have like a concentrated taste all the time, for me it's like whoa, something interesting.
Che, what do you think?
It's really good. I love eggplant.
After the break, more food culture as Che and Yevgen get cooking with culture. Welcome back to The Cook Up. Tonight is all about food culture, quite literally, as we cook with fermented foods. I have two renowned chefs with me in the kitchen, Yungun Che from Che in Victoria and Yevgen Klopotenko all the way from Ukraine. Che, what are you making today?
Today I'm going to make yak gochujang.
Okay. And Yevgen, what about you?
So I'm cooking today the authentic traditional Ukrainian borscht.
Okay, I'm going to learn a lot today. Yevgen, tell me about borscht.
So borscht is a unique Ukrainian dish. Now it's in World UNESCO Heritage.
Because of you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You got borscht like certified as a UNESCO cultural heritage.
Yeah, from the Ukraine, because it's very important, because now war in Ukraine happening, and it's happening because of the cultural way too, because our neighbors like Russia, they already wanted to steal everything from us, our language, our food, our way of living, and this dish, it starts from the Kiev Rus. Kiev Rus is the country which were like 1,500 years ago in our territory. It was Kiev Rus. So Kiev has a huge history, and Moscow appears only 500 years after the Kiev happens.
Okay.
And this dish was created there. It's our national dish. That's why we wanted to reveal and to say that, to fight back, that it's our food. And this borscht is a Ukrainian Kiev Rus dish. Yeah.
At the moment, you live in Kiev.
Yeah.
The place where there is a war
Yeah.
happening. You are living under a war at the
Yeah.
moment, and you're here essentially promoting your culture. What is that like?
It looks like you're in a movie, you know, these war movies, and everything is happening, and it's all the time the missile rockets are flying, and this. And now my life, it's a life under the stress that every day you can die. Literally, not just I'm dying. It's you can really die. But if I will be crying, if I will be sitting and saying everything is bad, please help me, nothing will happen. You have just to stand and to fight, and then you will have the win. That's why I don't know what's going to be tomorrow, but I know that today I can do the best.
I guess, it seems a little bit weird now after you say something like that for me to go, hey, how do you make borscht? But in some ways, it's kind of the same thing, right? You're fighting for your culture, and this is part of your culture. So you have pork and like charred vegetables going into making a stock.
Yeah. The main idea of borscht, there is like super simple rule. We have to make the good stock. After we will add all the veggies which you can find on your garden, but it's going to be later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Che.
Hello.
Yak gochujang.
Yes.
First of all, that is a lot of gochujang that is going in there. Usually when I use gochujang, it's like a tablespoon or something like that. But gochujang is fermented chili.
Chili paste.
Chili paste, right. And you have, what's in the pan?
So I put the garlic and the sesame oil.
Yes.
And this is minced beef and fried with chili paste and soju.
That smells so good already.
Yeah. So if you don't have any side dishes, you just prepare fried egg and then yak gochujang.
Okay, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And so this is something that you would keep in the fridge?
Yes.
You make your own gochujang as well.
Yes.
These days, everyone wants quick recipes, quick things that they can do. But to me, it's more about choosing where to invest your time. You invest your time you can just go buy gochujang.
Yes.
Right? But if you're making, in the old days, you would spend a year making gochujang, but then the result is that you can have something on rice in 10 seconds.
Yes, that's Korean food.
It's an investment. Yevgen,
Yeah.
actually it looks quite different. Quite a lot has happened.
Yeah, so now we're like moving to the second part of our main idea of the borscht. So
Yes.
first it was stock, yeah?
Yeah.
And second, we have to put all the veggies which you can find on your garden.
So what's in there now? Grated beets, tomato.
Grated beets, tomato, and bell pepper.
Okay.
Normally there is some kind of like a bit of the carrots, but it's not a rule. One rule
okay.
is like a lot of beetroots. Do it how much you can. The more beetroot you have, the best taste is going to be. So what I'm doing now, I'm putting the potatoes in the stock. Yeah, bam.
In the stock, okay.
Yeah, and then I put I put a bit of butter,
Yeah.
and I just cook it for the 5 minutes.
Ah, that was not what I was expecting to happen, I gotta say.
Yeah, and now the most important moment, our Ukrainian product. This one is a smoked pear.
Pears?
Pears, yeah, smoked
What?
pear.
That is, I've never seen anything like that before. That's brilliant.
I
That
think
smells amazing.
It's unique. You were asking about uniqueness of Ukrainian cuisine.
Yeah, yeah.
This one unique. That's what we can
pears.
give to the world.
Right.
This one is the taste of our wooden oven because we are producing these smoked pears in a wooden oven. So I'm taking this product and I put now in Australia. I put the wooden oven from
Yes.
Ukraine here. Bam! You can do the same. Help me.
It's the first time it's ever been done.
Hey, boom.
That's brilliant. You're kind of a massive deal in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Like millions of social media followers. They call you the Jamie Oliver of Ukraine.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic to have you here in Australia doing your thing, promoting your culture for us. So thank you for joining us. Really.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak about my culture for the Australians. I think that this culture is kind of a bit interesting and kind of a bit new and something special you can understand about us.
Very interesting to me, for sure.
Thank you.
All right, Shay. So that smells lovely. So what's going in here? Sesame seeds?
It's toasted sesame seed.
Yeah. And you're grinding that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Pine nuts.
pine nuts, okay.
So I prefer to put lots of pine nuts.
I got scared of pine nuts one time because there's a type of pine nut that is an inedible pine nut and it creates this problem called pine mouth. And for 2 months, I had this bitter taste in my mouth for 2 months.
Wow.
In my line of work, that's like losing a leg.
Pine nuts is like an essential ingredient for
Okay.
Korean cuisine.
I'm back okay. I'm okay with pine nuts. A lot of Korean food is really quite spicy. You know, this is literally just meat and chili based. So this goes in here?
Yes.
Okay. This is such a great idea for something that you could keep in the fridge and just like have whenever.
Yeah.
And I guess you could almost use it not just on rice, but on other things as well. You know, you could put it on top of, is it starting to get weird? Vegetables or something like that? Okay, it's starting to get weird. When we return, I'm going to be a food culture vulture when I swoop on Che and Yevgen's dishes. And I'll answer an Ask Adam question about fermenting vegetables. Things are funky on the cook-up tonight because we are really getting into fermented ingredients. Chef Jonghyun Che and Yevgen Klopotenko are finishing up their cultured food recipes. Che, how is it going?
Oh, it's everything great.
Great. And Yevgen, are you nearly done?
Yeah, I think that is ready.
Great, let's do it.
Yeah.
So that is a good-looking pot of, is it a soup or a stew?
Yeah, we call it soup. It has to be more liquid, but we can never call it soup. It's just like borscht. You know?
Okay, it's
For
borscht.
us, yeah.
Yes, okay.
And the secret is a beetroot juice to make the bright color. Just put here,
Right.
just stir for the 10 seconds
Fresh beetroot juice.
because it's. You see now it's
Yeah.
perfect, perfect
Oh,
color.
yeah, it really does. There was so much beetroot in there before, like I'm amazed that it changed the color, but it really did. Like it,
Because the more you boil the beetroot, it changes the color, start to be not so brightful. So this is
Got
the
it.
very important secret. And so like this. And now a touch of sour cream. I know it's hard to find everywhere, but you can use like different dairy, but sour cream is like a something.
beautiful. So the ribs and everything just sort of stay in the bottom.
Yeah, if you want ribs, you can take the ribs. If you want just the wedges, you can take wedges. It's like how you want. You can eat it on the second day. And we are telling that on the second day, it's much more even better. Bam.
Love it. Love a borscht. Shay, how's it going?
Yeah, everything
Right.
done.
Okay. So do you think you could eat this with vegetables, like dip vegetables into
Yes,
it?
you
Okay.
can
Yeah.
eat
I didn't
with
think it was that weird.
anything.
I felt like you were judging me for that, but. Oh, and then a little bit more of the.
Yeah, for more flavor, I prefer to put many, a lot.
That looks fantastic. Yak gochujang with bibimbap and Ukrainian borscht. I love the way that the carrot comes out.
Look,
the-
look.
Oh, you're stirring this. Okay, yeah, all right.
It's a secret to make the balance of sour and sweet.
Need to make stir the sour cream in. Okay.
It's yum. So much flavor inside.
Yeah, it's like like the same ingredients that you use every day a lot, but it's in another way. Just cook.
It is really delicious, actually. It's like sweet and savory and sour all at the same time.
Yeah.
That's when I'm eating like I'm at home. I'm at home.
To me, I love beets and I love carrots, and I think I love the same thing about them. The texture and the slight sweetness from them. That's delicious.
It's yum.
I still can't believe, like, there are only 10 dishes in the world that are UNESCO heritage recognized dishes, like kimchi,
Kimchi.
and
And
you
borscht.
got borscht
Yeah,
onto that list.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna try the yak gochujang. Does yak means like fried?
Yak is like medicine.
Oh, okay. Oh wow, that is
I like
delicious.
it. I like when it's so it's not chili, you know. It's burn in your mouth. You feel like burning, but it's not like so awful burning. It's like so slightly burning.
It's a little bit spicy. For
No, I like
That's
it.
delicious. And I'm kind of surprised by the texture of it. Now you have a little bit of the chewiness from the meat, but then also the seeds, the sesame seeds and
Yes.
things. It's lovely.
That's
really.
why I love to put lots of seed inside.
Can I do like this?
Yeah, of
Can I
course.
combine two cultures in one?
Yeah, it's never been done before.
Yeah.
What is
I'm doing the spicy borscht. Oh.
yak gochujang and borscht?
Yeah,
I want to try.
yeah.
Now we all have to do that. While we do that, it's time for an Ask Adam question. Tonight's question comes from Laura.
Hey Adam, my name's Laura and I love the show. I was just wondering, when fermenting vegetables, what should I do if the brine overflows? Thank you.
I'm amazed at how well the yak gochujang goes in the borscht.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
it's genuinely
well,
good.
well made.
I think we just created Ukrainian-Korean fusion borscht.
Yeah.
Laura, thank you so much for your question. It's an interesting one because, so when you have fermenting under brine, you're essentially doing an anaerobic fermentation. So that you don't want air to be getting to the vegetables or things that you're putting underneath the brine. If it is overflowing, there's obviously something happening in the increasing the volume of what's happening inside the container by expanding gases. So that's usually something that you don't want to be happening inside your fermented vegetables. If it's overflowing, guys, what do you think is the problem?
For me, in my experience, is just the problem with the temperature, because when you're doing it at home, if you say, oh, it's more or less 10 or 15 degrees room temperature, but this 10 or 15, it makes the super difference.
Yes.
We have to control the temperature. It's the most important thing in a fermentation.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Shay, if you're keeping kimchi, you're trying to hold kimchi without it over fermenting, what sort of temperature should you be holding it at?
I think it should be between 0 to 1.
You know, when you're fermenting, you don't want things to get too hot. You need a little bit of heat for the activity to happen, but if things are getting too hot, then you can see all these kind of problems.
The main idea is to buy a thermometer, and then the life will change.
Great advice from our two experts here. Laura, I hope that answers your question. Shay, Yevgen, thank you so much for joining me here. This has been, we invented a new dish, like it's always a good day when that happens.
Yes.
But thank you so much for being here, and Yevgen especially, you know, in a few days you're going back to a literal war, so please stay safe.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for support.
Fermented foods are for real, funky, tangy, and sometimes effervescent. Now's as good a time as any to get a bit of food culture into you. If you want more of the Cook Up and more delicious food ideas, head to SBS On Demand. I'm Adam Liaw. Thank you for watching the Cook Up.